All right, so we've got all the text done, all the drawing components done. Now we got to deal with all the other components that are on here. There's no one specific way to jump about it. Sometimes you can work from the top of the page and go down. I tend to stick to certain groups. For example, this is a platted subdivision, so we need to deal with the notes here, and we'll be very clear on what we put onto this one. So let's start with this. And let me make this small really quick so we know where we're going. We're going to pull up a folder. We're going to go to the research folder. I don't remember what job we were doing, Sunrise. Come to the research, find Sunrise, find your folder, then find the plat. By the way, that just opened on my other map. So here's the plat. We can look around the plat. This is literally titled Sunrise Estates. That's all it says, but it has to be specific. So if this has been Sunrise Estates subdivision, we type that. It'd be S/D, we type that. We don't correct for their notes. We do change it to the correct case, but that's about it. Now we're going to look for other notes. Here we have our front setback, side setback, rear setback. We have and utility and drainage easements. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to just throw this off to the side for a minute. Bring my drawing back up. We're going to move this to where we get docked. And we pull the plat up beside us. Let's get in here. While we're at that. Sorry, I don't know why it doesn't want to dock right. Anyway, I need this really quick. This is our property. When we hit here for most up-to-date ownership, we're going to need this information too. And if you look, right here it says it's zoned R1. So we come over here, double-click, click where you want to type R-1. The setbacks were 30 foot front and rear, just because I remember. Surprising surprise. Come on, there you go. So we have 30 foot front and rear. So I'm going to take this, Control X for cut, Control V, put a space in here, delete. By the way, you see how it's doing that stupid thing? Come right here, hit delete button, hold the shift key down, push enter. If it does stupid things like it just did. See this little notch right here? This should be 5 foot, or the first notch. All right. 10 foot sides. So it was 30 foot front, 15 foot sides, 30 foot rear. But this is not based on zoning. This is based on the plat. So per plat. Utility and drainage is 5 and 10. 5 and 10. We not have any contours on this map, so we get rid of that. That block is now done. This always stays on there unless it happens to be an Alta and we have that information. Now, let's come down to this really quick. Double click on this. Survey of, that was lot 5. Yes, lot 5. And the exact name was written as, come on, right there. Sunrise Estates. Sunrise Estates. All right, so we're done with the plat. We can close that one out. Now, remember we had job records before? Here's our job record. This is where we get our information. Try to make a little more space here. Make sure I'm on the right job. I am. This thing's really annoying me. All right. We need to know who we're doing the job for. We have an owner 2, and that's it. Interestingly enough, we have 2 different owners, but we don't have, this one is responsible for money, this one is supposed to be certified too. I'm going to assume that it got noted correctly. So it's CALEB W-E-S-L-E-Y-R-E-A-G-A-N. All right. And highlight what you don't need, backspace, and get rid of it. All right. Then we go back to Property Viewer. This is the information. However, I want you to notice it's Caleb Wesley Reagan is the current owner. And so now I got to question this. So we're going to go to job record. We're going to go here. We're going to go, wait, that is 1539. So we go to survey request. Come down here to 1539. I'm not sure why we have different information on there, but let's find out. If they specifically asked, this is the contact person, okay. This is who should be. So this person ordered it. They're not necessarily the owner. It wasn't documented quite the way it probably should have been, but that's okay. So we can go back to job records, and you would go to, where it drafts person's attention instead of the one I was on. Bring this up, and we're back to that note. So this wasn't the owner, this was a contactor, but they are responsible because they ordered it. Like Wesley Caleb is the owner. However, so I want to go here and hit Control Z because I want to undo, mainly because I want to make this correction. Survey of Lot 5, Estates 4. And the reason why I did this because we have and M-A-R-C-I-A-M R-E-A-G-A-N. God, why does that just not look right? All right. Their names are long enough. It's starting to become a problem. Not an issue. Just change it to a slightly smaller font. But make sure the top and bottoms match. So I'll make that 10. And we're just going to move this just a little bit to the left and a little bit up. And just move it there. By the way, this is all about aesthetics. There's no set place everything has to be. That is the same owner. Double click on this. Here's the district. It's in the 4th Civil District. So delete 4. If this had been a 3rd, we'd hit delete again. That RD. And then you select the RD and change that to superscript, which is right here. Luckily for us, though, that's not the case. It's the 4th, but that is superscript. So there's that. Check the county, make sure it's that. Make sure the county matches. Then come down here to tax map and parcel. Tax map and 73C A5. So 73C group A parcel 5.00. Do put the trailing zeros on it. This is in your map book. Sevier County is a book. The only one that has cabinets is Jefferson County, I think, and Hamblin. So we're going to get rid of these 4 and these 4. And we'll come over here and it's like, this is map book 27, page 65. Scroll down here. It's the newest deed, which is here. 5970. 5970. You come over here. Backspace, backspace. By the way, you can use your arrow keys if you weren't aware to move around inside the thing. You can go up, down, left, right. Change the date to match to today's date, not the date the fieldwork was done. So today is April 25th, 2023. Double click on the drawing. The drawing name on this one is Sunrise Estate 5. More often than not, every project is probably going to be under the One Hit Wonder project, but it could be under a different one. That's why it still stays there. Make sure you change these. This again is today's date. So this is 4/25. This is 4/25. And by the way, when you're editing a text, when you're done editing, just click off and you can get out of that text. Now we have all this title block's filled. All this is filled. That's filled out. That stays. All that stays. That's been done. That's been corrected. That's been corrected. So all we're down to is the location map. So go back to your property viewer. I tend to find it easier not to have the imagery on it. The only real stipulation I have on the location map is that you must have the road that you tied to down here in the bottom where we did our road tie here. It needs to, this one here, it needs to show up on the location map. So for example, we've got this. So we're going to have to get a box. And if you'll see the kind of the rectangle shape here, we're going to kind of cut a rectangle here. Using the snipping tool, click on it. By the way, this is what pops up. Click new. I don't need to go any further than this over this way. So I'm going to start here, click and hold. Got to get past pulling. So about that level. And then you have this. So once you have this, you click here for copy. Go back to your drawing. Control V for paste. There's your endpoint. Put it there. SC for scale. Click on what you're wanting to scale. Space. Click your base point. R for reference. Your base point. Your start end. And then your where you want to be at. There. Reach in. I tend to click on the map and click send to back so I can see where these lines are at. All right. Let's start with the annoying one. Polyline. We're going to do a polyline around this. We're going to come here. That's PL for polyline. Here. Here. I'm going to do arc because I want some curves in this. And then L for line. And then C for close. All right. Now, let's go back over here to this drawing really quick. Pullen Road goes here. So it's the primary road. So we're going to go SPL for spline. NEA here at the intersection of where the road would be. I know you can't see the line because it's got a white background, but it'll be all right. Follow the main road. NEA here. Now I usually come past this, and I'll show you why. This is just a regular old intersection, so we just go right through it and go NEA. I'm going to ignore the fact that we're starting to get one of those little flared things. So you see that line gets into the text. So if you hit TR for trim, click on your text space, and then click on the line, it now gets rid of it. All right. If you notice, when I'm pulling and panning around, click on the middle mouse button and panning, it hides the image so you can kind of see what you've done. I like these maps to be relatively detailed, even if we don't end up naming the road because it's too small. If it shows up on there, we really ought to. So that's spline, SNEA again. And we just kind of follow this road up around this stupid little funky jog that makes not a whole lot of sense to anybody except whoever decided to design it originally, maybe. You don't have to get super exact on this because it is just a not to scale drawing. I'm looking at that. That's just a driveway. I don't know why they're showing it on here. We've only got one other road that's not shown, and that's this one. NEA, and then NEA, base. That's all our roads. E for erase, click on what you want to erase, space, it's gone. All right, now we're going to start labeling stuff. We'll start with this. T for text. I'm going to put it in the middle for now. Height stays the same. Notice that it's not 0 down at the bottom. So we're going to hit, see right here, it says 47. We're going to hit 0. And we're going to type site. All right. So we've got that one in. Let's go ahead and save. H for hatch. Select objects. Drag across both the polyline and the site. Space. Hit OK. Now, whatever this scale is, this is a 40 scale. We're going to click on this. Right here where it says pattern type and all the under patterns, it says scale. We want that to be, if it's 40, this is going to be 4. If it was 50, it'd be 5. If it's 100, it'd be 10. So this is 4. So it says scale type is 4. While we're here, we're going to change the layer from miscellaneous to corner sim. That means it will now print in red, and it's all good to go. I also like to try to send this to the back just because sometimes the red overflows the top of the black lining. Now it's just filling in the things. This is Sunrise Drive. This is all, again, a matter of aesthetics. You can type it anywhere, change the rotation. You can move it however you want. If you find that your rotation's off, you can rotate it. This is Pullen Road. This one is Lexington Park Avenue. Because there's no way that's going to fit in that text, I'll do T for text, click, height, set the scale at 0. So that way it can be seen, but it's not rotated to match. We have Park Place Avenue on the other side. Let's do T for text. We're going to do Park. We're going to do it this way because it allows us to move them around a little bit. I'm really not caring about these two sidelines because they really don't matter. This has got enough information for someone to find it. So zoom. I mean, we can do this. It's Oakley Manor Court because we've got the space. And we'll even rotate it. Oakley Manor Court. Again, this is all aesthetics. If you have to change something, for example, this is too big, do SC for scale, drag across what you want to scale, hit space, click your base point. In this case, I'm going to do 0.8. All right, so I got interrupted, so I don't know where I left off, but I was saying that if you need to scale this, you can do SC, pick your base point, and then do 0.8, which will make it smaller. Don't go much less than that, because if you do, it gets hard to read. So that's your location map. That is your title block. Make sure you double check everything. We have our scale bar. That's notes have been corrected. One of the things I tend to forget is make sure we have our dates correct down here. Make sure the title block is filled out. That bit's filled out. Everything is there. Regen, zoom, extent, Control S, and it looks like it's done.